So, so
And you're
he's,
so proud.
I'm so
You are.
grateful. I am so grateful.
What is it? What is the impact of your having a child and raising a child it's had on your life? How has that changed you?
It has encouraged me. I have educated myself largely because of my son. I mean, I read books well after he was born. He wanted to know about babies. He wanted to know about this. And how could I teach somebody and know nothing? So I was a visitor at the library. And every time I could buy a secondhand book, I'd buy it. So now I have, what, 10,000 books? And my son has 5,000 books. Um, because the books represent the gathered information of human beings all over the world since we've been able to write. So uh, he meant everything. He tenderized me. And he was asking on national television, he was asked, how did it feel to grow up in the shadow of Maya Angelou? He said, her shadow? I was in her light. What are you talking about? He said, I always wish there was a shadow because she put that light right on me. And I said,
Wow.
please remove that sometime. But he said, I grew up in her light.
Dr. Angelo, people, I know so many wonderful stories about you.
Ah,
I really prepared myself for this interview. I know this story, very different of yours and a father to me, Bob Brown, when his wife was sick with cancer and she eventually passed away. You would come off the road, the long hours, you would go in your kitchen and cook food and send it over. And you do that for so many people who are going through very difficult times. And, people would never believe that. But, I mean, it just shows you what your mother said, is that you just had such a good heart and such a good person. How you give back, not what people see in the public, but in some of the most intimate and most private moments of your life.
well, I told you, my mother told me, try to make everything you say two-time talk. That is, say it in a closet and be ready to say it on the city hall steps and give anybody 20 minutes to draw a crowd. That should be true with what you do. I know it can't always be true, but you should be able to do the thing in your private place and then have the light of the world shine on you and still do it so that you don't have to worry about how can I lie about this. It's not easy, and I blow it all the time, but I do try. What I do in private, uh, I do anonymously. There are public statements that have to be made in public, but I don't need anybody to tell me that's a good thing. I'm trying to be a Christian,
Mm.
Armstrong. Now, of all the things I've said, this is the most important. I am trying to be a Christian. Trying to be a Christian is like trying to be a Jew or a Muslim or a Buddhist or a Taoist or Zoroastrian. It's not something you achieve and then you sit back and, whew, I got it. I'm always amazed when people walk up to me and say, I'm a Christian. I think, already? Goodness gracious. I split 70 wide open. I'm working at it. So, what I'm trying to do in everything I do is, is be a representative of my God. I am made by God. I am God's child. And I'm trying to show that I respect it and am appreciative.
You know, I want to come to this. To me, this is an important aspect of the interview, not to minimize anything else, is that I said in my introduction of you, of how you've transcended race. I look at some of the incredible relationships that you have, from people from foreign countries to people of all walks of life. You've hinted your own experiences with racism, and the fact that you're a woman who happened to be black was just like a double whammy against you, and how you were able to overcome. How does one, from your experience, overcome isms of race, the isms of prejudice, and still find a way to plant their feet on solid ground, to find success, to find their voice, and to make a contribution to society? Because it seems as though even though you experienced race, you were not consumed by it. It did not stop you. How does one navigate those waters?
Well, first, if you don't transcend it, you give victory to the racist. The racist would like to see everybody separated in tiny little tunnels. And so if I say, oh, well, you know, I don't like all, I mean, no whites, they can't do anything. And Asians, no, really, I'm with it. I didn't lose anything in Mexico and in South America. That is so stupid. There are some very bad white people. There's some very good white people. There's some very bad black people, and there's some very good black people. Some excellently good Hispanics, and some terrible Hispanics. Some great Asians, and some horrible Asians. So how am I to look? Who am I, God? I didn't make them. As soon as I am encouraged by anyone or any conglomerate that is nation or any race to narrow my life down because of someone else's prejudice, because at someone else's whim, I stop and wonder, who made that rule? To who will benefit? Will I benefit? Will I be better? Really? Will I be bigger? Suppose this is the last chance I have on this earth. You can't tell. I mean, nobody knows. And I'm going to spend that last time? I don't think so. No, sir. I will accept God's people, whoever they are, as long as they accept me, and as long as I don't see them and them critically harming anybody else. I'm against that. I'm against anybody hurting anybody, seriously.
Dr. Maya Angelou.
Yes.
So eloquent, so well said.
Huh?
This is On Point, TV One special, with who else but the voice, the provocateur.
Oh, no, not a provocateur. I resist that. A provocateur usually says words to make somebody else fall, or make them, to show somebody else up, to uncover a lie or something, or maybe to lie. No, I may be many things. I'd like to be inspirational. I'd like to be a friend. I want to be a shero. See, people live in direct relation to the heroes and sheroes they have. Not an idol. An idol encourages people to be more like the idol. The shero encourages people to be more of themselves. That's the difference.
And I knew exactly when I used that term that your spirit would direct you to elevate the conversation.
Thank you.
It was not meant for us, but for those watching. We'll be back. This is TV One's On Point. It just gets better because we have a genius of our time among us, Dr. Maya Angelou. Don't go away. We're coming back